I'm here. I'm here. I believe artists should be compensated for their music. So even if I've had where someone has invited me to view a film or movie that they burned from someone else's, I won't even watch it, nor will I listen to it in the car if it's just a burned CD of someone else's music. Um, because I believe what you put out comes back. And so I respect other artists enough to either pay for their CD or if they give it away complimentary. But I would never burn anyone else's music or use it without their permission or anything like that, or listen to someone else who has it. No, I've had other ideas that are out there that after I took it to like a fee-based development group, they waited for the time to elapse and then came out with my idea. Um, no, it's quite rewarding because to me it's still the same thing I'm doing now, which lets me know that what I thought of was viable and works. So thus I pay myself 100 times. So that's when it's definitely not about the money. It's more about like I knew I was right about that, or that worked. So that's
Can you tell me some of the ideas?
nope,
Okay.
because it would connect, you know, yeah, and obviously an identity closer to, more exacting than this.
Injustice.
Oh, there's definitely some unjust things that occur. That's happening right now all over the planet. There's some people that are unjustly being persecuted and are oppressed for one reason or another by some regime or government. So I believe injustice exists. I don't believe in injustice. So, yeah, there's some harsh things going on out there all the time, which reminds me of how perfect we have it. How, or not perfect, but how wonderful each day is already for me. A big injustice in San Diego. The way the homeless are treated, I think is one. The shutting down and or overcrowding of schools. That's just stupid. And definitely evil. Those are definitely inhumans that are doing that. If someone comes and says you need fewer teachers, that's that society has problems, has issues, and they're going to be bigger as soon as those children who didn't get educations become larger. So that's on purpose. They're creating criminals of the future in order to have, systems in place that will make money off of incarcerating those soon to be, so it's
How? A lot of people don't understand why anybody would want to fill up a jail or how that would benefit anyone.
well, a lot of jails are now incarceration for profit. It's a business, and just like a restaurant, if you can fill it up with patrons, you're making money. So they're getting paid from the government and other entities for the amount of inmates they have. So obviously, two inmates is more than one, three is more than two, and so on and so on. So the more they have, the more money they make. It's a business. And of course, to keep that business flowing, you also need to create criminals. How do you create criminals? Well, you put too many regular humans into a classroom and then ignore them for the rest of the throughout the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade and on until they finally drop out in the 10th grade and go, oh my goodness, they're dropping out of school. I wonder why. Um, could it be because you have like six teachers in a school of 300? So that's also planned because the people that are making these decisions, their schools have teachers and only a few students in each class. So, but they don't, like I said, those are inhumans and they don't care about your children in that class. So unless parents stand up and make a lot of noise, then they're creating prisoners and criminals of the future and the homeless of the future by ignoring your children today. So parents better make some noise.
Did you read full textbooks? Like,
Yeah, all the pages were in my books, if that's what you mean. They hadn't ripped out, the students hadn't destroyed them and the schools didn't continue to use them. Is that what you mean?
I mean, well, you went to a public school.
No.
Did you go to school
Yes.
traditionally?
It was a private school, small private schools.
Okay. So you had textbooks, and a teacher would assign you to read A to B. Would you read the whole book?
And beyond. Yeah.
And then,
C and D and be ready for discussion, have notes as far as questions about the other part of the book, and be rather upset if we changed books. And I'm like, well, I had questions about other chapters. And we weren't discussing those chapters. I'm like, but I still had questions regarding those other chapters. Because there's always something to learn from any curriculum. There's always something. So as long as there was something, as long as, knowledge-wise you're being fed, then I would sit at the table and eat, consume their ideas and their directions, you know, because there's still something to learn from that. There's always something to learn. There's something to learn from this.
What were your friends like?
I didn't really. I knew people. I knew some people. Some people knew me, but I didn't really hang out with a lot of people. I was kind of always, you know, if there was a field, I'm across the field under that tree in the shade, possibly just watching, listening, to the collection of sounds that are around, or I might be the only one who noticed even at night in the dark that an owl just flew over, and I'm like thinking, I wonder how many other people, how many other humans in the last 2 hours saw that owl. I would love to be able to snap my fingers and have everyone who saw that owl be sitting at a table, because I bet you those people are pretty brilliant. They noticed something minuscule and serene or beautiful, you know, like when an owl flies over the freeway in the middle of the night. Who saw it? So I think that, to be able to fly along with that owl wherever he's going or wherever he came from, that's way more magical than driving down the freeway itself.
Religious?
It depends on if we're using the term religion in the actual term religion. To me, religion just means the way you worship, or do you bow, do you kneel, do you drink Welch's grape juice, to symbolize the blood of Christ. So in those terms, no, I'm not religious. I do have faith. I believe in something.
Do you read all religious books though? Like, have you read the Bible?
Yeah,
Have you read the Bible?
yes.
Quran?
I've read a lot of different publications on things to believe in and things to not believe in. They're all basically about the same thing. If you had a this table, or let's say that little stuffed animal, if that's that stuffed animal on the table right there, it would have a different name for whatever it is in different countries. Yet they're all speaking about the same thing. So I believe a lot of religions are like that. They've all devised a different way to come in the door and worship that little stuffed animal, but it's still the worship of that little stuffed animal. And that stuffed animal might be thinking, wow, that's pretty interesting. Those people knelt and crawled all the way to the table, where the other ones walked in backwards. The other ones brought gifts, and the other ones sacrificed the lamb on the front porch. And yet, it's all for that same. So if there's an easier way to get to that stuffed animal without killing the animal or scarring up my knees or whacking myself with a chain, then I think that I can hang out with that stuffed animal as long as he doesn't require too much. Yeah.
Have you ever killed a fly?
Have you ever killed a fly? Oh yeah, I was driving down the freeway one time and a swarm of something just committed bugicide all on the windshield.
With your hand?
Like squished it with my hand. No, usually I try to capture them and release them outside. Or one time I caught a butterfly outside and released him inside just to watch him fly around the room. Then I shoot him outside. So sometimes it's cool to go outside and bring butterflies inside. If you can catch a few, if you have really nice flowers, maybe catch two or three of them without harming them, bring them into the room, let them flutter around, and then help them get back outside. And then I wonder what they tell their friends when they get back to their groups. If they say, "Wow, I was just inside of a human's house," their friends are like, "I don't think so. You were not." And they're like, "No, really. I was inside this guy's place, and he was on a keyboard. He had headphones. He just was like looking at me and writing something, and then he kicked me out of his apartment." I think his friends would be okay. If you're gonna lie, you can go over there.
If you ever find the opportunity, I encourage you to do that with fireflies.
Fireflies.
Yes, when I was moving out here,
We don't have a lot of fireflies out here.
to the
Uh,
East Coast.
yeah, fireflies are pretty interesting. Any living creature that can create luminescence, some because it's chemical luminescence without heat, it's pretty impressive. There are plants that do the same thing too. Yeah, when I went to Texas, there were a lot of fireflies. In fact, I have a design theme for a restaurant that has fireflies in it. I'm going to have them incorporated into the theme, into the ambience, and use them.
Lots of sugar.
Free. Sugar's free. Sugar will be free, no charge. I'll put it on the table in jars. You can have as much as you want. You can use spoons, put it in cubes, and carry the cubes in your pocket. That's what I used to do. Used to love to go to like PTA meetings or stuff like that, or school meetings because I knew that there's gonna be a little pink and white box on the table, and it's got sugar cubes inside of it. That was like free candy right there. Grab 5, 10 of those, put them in your pocket. Bite a lemon, throw a sugar cube in. Bite a peach, throw a sugar cube in. Get in the car, throw a sugar cube in. Yeah, those are.
Have you ever like researched the negative effects of sugar?
No, I don't think there is a negative effect of sugar. There may be a negative effect of. I know there's a negative effect of not having sugar.
Okay.
The Kool-Aid does not taste as good. The lemonade is missing something, So, and the meeting was boring because I'm listening to the people. I'm looking at the table and wondering where are the sugar cubes. So, but outside of that, but the only substitute for sugar would be Disneyland in Anaheim, the actual Disneyland. That place is sugar. That's pretty cool.
Do you like it?
I love it. I love Disneyland. Just walking right down Main Street because I want to live in that town. Should be a real place. That should be a real neighborhood, a real and in what is it, Toonville or wherever they get the houses or everything's all on tilt.
Absolutely.
There should be a whole entire town like that where the whole apartments, everybody. Yes, it'd be just like that.
Yes.
People will live there. I'd get an apartment in that neighborhood where your doors all like weird and the windows are
I prefer a cave, but I'm in.
a cave,
Yes.
like in Australia where they build the houses underground.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I
they.
just picture like a little hole, and I always pictured like the way to get in would be like a secret code, but it would have to be like a rhythm, like an
Oh,
NPC or something and it'd have to be your hand and your rhythm.
oh, specific rhythm and
Yes.
to get.
Then you could get
So
into
what would
the
be like the
game.
door, like a giant rock or something?
And maybe it would like kind of.
Oh, like a
But maybe
slide.
the code would also just be like a security precaution where the cave you might not even really know that it's anything. Maybe
Yeah.
you wouldn't know.
Well, I saw a science fiction film where the scientist had a lair up in this rock region, and the entrance was a very large entrance, but it looked like a giant solid rock, but it was just a hologram, it was just a projection. So people walked past it, but had they have ever reached over to touch it, they would have just walked right through. It was just a mirage that there was a rock there, but there was no rock there. He just walked in and out of it.
Yeah,
But everyone else saw like this
that's
huge,
very
gigantic.
cool because that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and he just walked right in and walked right out, and other people would try to follow him in that region, would look and wonder where he went and touch rocks, but they, for whatever reason, never really stumbled across his entrance. But it was just a projection of a rock. Yeah, that was kind of cool. It's kind of like what people do in San Diego. It's just what they're doing is basically just a projection. A lot of it's not real. I also write books. Finishing book number 10 right now. They're like little science fiction, or not science fiction, but they're fiction books. Different stories. Like I have one about two trees and their experience from their point of view, and one about lizards and stuff like that, and an experience that they're having because they need to move because where they live, the environment's too harsh, so they've got to leave. But right before they get ready to make this mass exodus from this rock region where they live and travel across the sand, they realize that on the cliffs behind them, a family of hawks have just moved in. So now they're stuck, and they try to figure out how they're going to get out of there. And this one young lizard figures out, and he overhears a conversation between a hawk and something else, and he realizes that he can use that information to help his entire community move. But they don't believe him. They don't believe he heard what he says he heard. and so it takes a lot of persuasion and before they can finally go on this quest to try to get to this place, where it seems fictional, where it rains for an hour every day, kind of thing. So they're it's a big journey that they go through to get there, but it's a good story.
Isn't that the only way that you kind of can write real stories sometimes is to give them a fictional facade?
Um, well, if you came to this planet and just kind of watched the people, you would think that all of this stuff is pretty fictional. You would find because none of what's happening here is really logical. Well, the album, for example, the actual first album, which has multiple songs on it, multiple tracks, that's actually already completed. The ones I'm doing right now, these are singles. I'm doing like these singles, and none of the singles are even on the album at all. The album will be completely new music that no one's ever heard before. And the first album will be music that I'll probably never perform. So, because some of it is different, and some of it is almost like what we're doing. Basically, like one of the songs is just some music in the background, and then me just talking about different subjects. So, for those who want to, some people might skip it, some people might listen. For, so,
You listen to Gil Scott Heron?
yeah, he just recently died, didn't he? Yeah. Yes, I loved his voice. He had a very powerful voice. But I also liked Hugh Masekela. You know, um, yeah, Gil Scott was cool. Some early jazz. I like a lot of folk music, Irish music. You know, but I like Dexter Wansel too. Life on Mars. Have you heard of that one? Dexter Wansel, Life on Mars, and the song 1 Million Miles from the Ground. That's good stuff. That's real good. So there's a
What's your star sign?
no one really knows that one. I like Pisces though.
Like,
Yeah. Not sure which one I am, if I am one at all. I think it's a cool thing, but they left out a few signs, so I think it's kind of unfair. People were given 12 to choose from. There's more than 12 out there. So, I don't want to name one that no one knows, or most people don't know. Few people know. So, but there are other signs. But most people ignore the signs. I mean that on multiple levels. So, yeah. See, a lot of people think that this is current time. So I'm like, you know, that's fine if they think this is current. To some people, this is the past. So,
think there's something special about this place.
is there something special about San Diego?
There's something special
Hmm.
about it.
A lot of people here are very loyal to the boundaries that are called San Diego. They're like seem to be very proud to be from San Diego. I like San Diego, and I like the groups that I've met here in San Diego. But even where I'm from, I can't actually say that, that boundary on a map defines any thought of what I am or could be. So I believe that even the people that are here from San Diego that love to wear San Diego gear, I think they're bigger than even San Diego themselves. So, yeah, San Diego.
So, the last question again. Why San Diego?
Um, it's where my plane ran out of gas. It's kind of like you go hiking or going camping. You find a clearing and just some water nearby, a few trees you can use as shelter. You might decide to hang out for a little while, camp out there, see what kind of animals, throw a rock into the bushes and see what jumps out or flies. Make a note of it. Make a note of the sounds, surroundings, and then eventually, you know, you will travel on to another campsite. But thank you again for having me come over here and share a moment with you.